I've been working at a warehouse job for going on 2 weeks. And the one thing that I can say that I done picked up from working a warehouse job is that, bro, when I look at the old heads that been in that bit for 17, maybe 20 plus years, that shit made me realize, nigga, I need to chase my fucking dreams. On my first week of training, I meet an old nigga. This nigga said he been working at this warehouse job since Malcolm X was alive. Nigga got the shakies and all. Nigga still work a warehouse job. And when I tell you every day that I clock in to work and I see this nigga, it made me realize that, nigga, I need to chase my dreams. And that shit be sad, but whoop-de fucking do. He chose that lifestyle. I'm not choosing that shit. Every day I'm at work, this nigga sit on the crate and just stare at the wall. Like this. I literally watch this nigga do a great stare every single day. He don't say shit to nobody. He just come to work, does his job, and when he got free time, he just stare at a fucking wall like this. Yeah, I'm like, yo, whenever this nigga time up, bro, they gonna have to bury this nigga at the warehouse. A warehouse job is like prison, but you get paid for it. You gotta show up to that bit every single day repetitively. Be bored, do the same shit over and over and over. But that shit be worth it though when you get your check. Every nigga that work a warehouse job go through the same cycle. The first week that you get the job, you gonna look at yourself in the mirror, you gonna be like, nigga, how the fuck do people do this shit? Then when that paycheck smack your account on Wednesday, you in this bitch, hey, I can't wait to go back to work. You bring your ass back next week, it's the same cycle every time. You go to work, complain about how you don't want to be there, say you stuck in the matrix and some more shit, how you about to quit and some more shit. You get that paycheck, you go back, same shit repeat. And another thing about a warehouse job, your boss or your supervisor, they do not give a fuck about you. I'm at the warehouse, I'm working on some machine or whatever, because when you work a warehouse job, they'll have you doing all type of bullshit. You'll be fixing some boxes 1 minute, the next minute you'll be working on a fucking machine that you don't have no clue what the fuck it does. You just do shit. My boss come through the back door and say, MJ, come here. I'm like, God damn, man, what the fuck the nigga just do? Nigga just started my fucking job anyway, this nigga finna fire me already. So I step out into the hallway, man, he make one of these faces. When your boss do that, just know, nigga, you probably finna get fired. So I'm like, yes, sir, what's going on? He said, I'm gonna give you 2 options. We can either have you work from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., or we can have you come in from 6 p.m. and then you get off at 11:30 the next morning. I'm looking at that nigga like, boy, what the fuck? So basically what you're saying is you want me to move into the warehouse and live here. I'm looking at this nigga, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? This nigga just give me a 16-hour shift? That's why I say these warehouse jobs don't give a fuck about you. They start shoving that overtime in your face. I know you want to work a couple extra 5 hours. Get the fuck out of my face. Your breath smell like expired pork chops. I straight up told that nigga no. I'm like, nah, hell nah, bro, I can't even do it. Nigga start getting mad and shit, talking some, well, I guess you don't want any money. Yep. You're fucking right. I don't want any of that slave money. You gotta stand up, move boxes all day. I think I got scoliosis. I actually dead ass feel like a slave. That's why I say warehouse jobs are not for the weak. If you finna get one, just know what the fuck you're getting yourself into. Please.
Shout out to all the warehouse workers that's out there working to be able to make a living for their family, for themselves. You know, working in a warehouse, it can be very challenging, like this young man is talking about. Because if you work in a warehouse, you'll have to deal with a lot of stuff, especially if it's your first time. You'll have to deal with people with different background. You'll have to deal with challenges that come with the manager and even the supervisor. You'll have to deal with the environment itself because you're working in a loud environment. Most likely it's a environment that has a lot of risk, where there's a lot of forklift, there's a lot of tools that's just moving around that could potentially cause you a lot of harm. So working in a warehouse can be very challenging, especially if it's your first time. I think working in a warehouse could potentially be a good experience for someone who actually looking for a job for the first time, especially a young adult or like a teenager, because it will either make you or break you. What do I mean by that? When you work in an environment where you are dealing with a lot of individuals from different backgrounds, most likely you're going to be working with people of diverse background who probably can't speak English as well as you, who probably been working in that type of work or that type of job for the past 10, 20 years doing the same thing. And you're going to be working in a place that's most likely a repetitive environment. And this can also include people who work in production, in manufacturing, and even in a warehouse. Because when you work in those type of environment, you're going to have to deal with a lot of people. You're going to have to deal with the personality that comes with it. You're going to have to deal with the people who's dealing with issues at home and they're bringing it to work because, you know, they cannot handle their emotion and things like that. Because I work in a warehouse, and I remember one time when I was working in a warehouse and I started eavesdropping in a conversation that a coworker was having with another one. Both coworkers couldn't really speak English. One was from Bangladesh and the other one was from, if I'm not mistaken, like Egypt or something. So they were arguing just back and forth with the broken English, so I was just minding my own business, but at the same time, I was eavesdropping on their conversation. And then one of them asked him, how old are you? The guy was like, I'm 19. He said, you don't look like you're 19. You look like you're in your 30s or 40s. He said, no, I'm 19. So he asked him a question. He was like, what year were you born? And that guy from Bangladesh, he said, I was born in 1988. Keep in mind, this was in 2020. And then I looked at the guy, I saw him, I'm like, yeah, he does not look 19. And plus, if you're born 1988, you cannot be 19 years old. So it just got me sitting down and I'm just thinking like, wow, I'm working with people who probably, you know, they can't speak English as well. They definitely can't do their math right. And they definitely can't tell, you exactly the year that they were born, because when you look at their age or you look at their face, you look at their age, it just does not match up. And I'm not saying this just to say that, I'm better than them or anything like that, but it just got me thinking like, man, I need to do something better for myself. I need to try to do something better for myself. That's the thing about also working in a warehouse. It will force you to either try to strive for something better, especially if you're a driven person, if you're an ambitious person, if you're a person who's trying to seek something better for your life. Because when you go through that challenge of working in a warehouse, you're going to sit back and look at your life, especially if you're working with people who are much older than you, who've been there for a long time, doing the same thing over and over. If you're smart enough, you're going to be looking at it like, okay, I need to do something better for myself. I need to find something outside the box. I need to either try to invest in something, start a business, or just try to strive to do something better than what I'm doing right now. Because when I saw that, it was in 2020. This is during COVID. I told myself, I said, no, I cannot be in this type of environment. I need to try to do something. So I ended up going on social media. I ended up trying to read books on stocks, trying to read books on real estate, trying to read books on business, starting a business, LLC, and many other things. And it kind of paid off a little bit because you need the ambition behind it to be able to do things like that. And there's a lot of people who are scared and they're just, they'll prefer to sit in a warehouse or just, not even try to strive for the best thing that could work for them. But at the same time, I think people who work in a warehouse, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with working in a warehouse, but if you are planning to stay in there for 20, 30, 40 years working there, I think you're basically just missing out in life because you got to strive for something better. This young man right here, he just been working for about 2 weeks in a warehouse, and now, he's complaining about it because you're going to have to deal with management. You're going to have to deal with, the speed of the environment, meaning you have to keep up with production, or else you will most likely be, picked on by the supervisor or the manager or even fired in some level. And a lot of people are not used to it, especially a lot of younger folks like the Gen Zers and things like that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Till next time.